supply is not reliable. Reliability in infrastructure, in the water. You have, therefore, to deal with those matters as matters of priority if you're going to get your economy up and running. So there are several steps that you need to take to create that climate that will allow people to save and invest and then grow the economy. When you're growing the economy, that is when you have making jobs, more and more jobs being available. We think that that emphasis, giving confidence to the business sector, I believe that if you read even the information coming from the Bank of Ghana in this period, one consistent piece of information that the monetary reports that are issued from the Bank of Ghana identify is the low business confidence in the running of the economy now. I believe that an MPP government, knowing to be a pro-business, a business-friendly party in its thinking and its philosophy, will immediately reverse that trend and give confidence to the private sector that people are here. Who are interested in the development of the economy and especially of the private sector's part in it. We can go on and on, but I think that what I'm trying to outline to you is that there's no immediate, quick, simple fix. There are a series of measures that have to be taken to create that climate of confidence. And once that climate of confidence has been created, then the snowballing will become very evident and very apparent very, very, very soon. So these are some of a critical aspect of it, of course, is also skills training and education. Have a population, half of whom cannot read or write. It's difficult to run a modern economy. And it is a very, 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 very large part of the decision we have taken to expand access to secondary school education. We want every single Ghanaian, before he merges into adulthood, to have at least basic skills in numeracy, in literacy, capacity to communicate in the modern manner, so that you have a labor force that can man and support a modern industrial economy. We have apprenticeship and skills training that we need to really develop. When we're developing our educational system, we're also going to have to develop an educational system that produces people that industry and business want to employ. We're going to have to sit down with the people in industry, sit down with the business world, and ask them, what are the qualities, the type of products they want from our secondary school system? What are the kind of products that they're looking at from our tertiary institutions? And work with them. These are the mechanisms that have been used in other parts of the world and have succeeded. I don't see why we cannot use those mechanisms here in Ghana to make Ghana also move down and move up and succeed as well. I think it's possible.
When we take a question from the Central Region. The Central Region is on the screen now. The question from the Central Region is, Nana, how would you use sports and entrepreneurship to develop the youth who may not benefit directly from the free SHS in terms of industrialization?
I think that you look at our manifesto, we're talking about creating possibilities for young people to be able to have access to credit, so that if they have ideas, looking at an entrepreneurial fund, if they have ideas about business, those ideas can be given a lift up, a shot in the arm by having access to the credit. Because most young people, but most young people, access to credit is the most limiting factor in wanting to do anything. So if indeed we can create a fund specifically targeted at young people and entrepreneurship, it opens clearly a window of opportunity for all young people. That's one of the commitments that we're making and one of the things that we intend to do. So I'm hoping that when that happens, the person who, or the group of people who have posed the question from the central region will be one of the first to sign up, to come and look for that money so that they can also begin to do something with their lives.
We'll take a last question from the crowd.
Thank you very much, Nana, for giving the Upper East region a representation here. I think one of the development strategies in Ghana so far concerning Northern Ghana, in particular, is SADA. And so many young people from the Upper East region have so many hopes that SADA in the long run is going to improve on their socio-economic standards of living. What will be your stake when we finally decide in December that you should be our president on SADA? Are you going to improve on it? Are you going to bring more other components into it, or you are going to streamline it? We really want to know. Thank you very much.
Well, that's a relatively easy matter for me to answer because the SADA was my idea. The idea was stolen from us, the whole process. So, clearly, to some extent, we've been disappointed in the manner in which it is operated, because that all-embracing strategy of development that we had in mind when we proposed the Northern Development Authority, we haven't seen it in the operations of SADA. We've seen one or two specific initiatives that are taking, responding to floods in the northern region, buying fertilizers for some of the farmers in one or two of the other regions. But that all-comprehensive, embracing development strategy that is going to link up the development of infrastructure, the development of our educational facilities there, linking it up also with the growth of agriculture and the incentives that we need to have to get people involved, young people involved in agricultural and economic. We haven't seen it in the SADA. So what will happen if by the grace of God we get the opportunities, then we will go back to the original conception of a development strategy involving the three regions, where so many elements are integrated: infrastructure, education, credit facilities, and create there, once again, this bandwagon, because economic development is about that. The whole thing of moving things in such a way that people can see that progress is on the way, and therefore they then buy into the vision. There's many things that we would do, but certainly the Northern Development Authority, the concept of the SADA, would be very, very, very strong and intensified if we have the opportunity.
Nana Akufo-Addo, on behalf of the people of Brown Halfway, I plead with you to answer their last question. They're on the screen now. BA, please wave. Nana, BA wants to know why free SHS.
Why free SHS? Wow. Well, to some extent, I'm unhappy about that question because I've been talking about this for the last year. and it suggests that somehow or other my message hasn't gone down very well in Brown Halfway. But that's good because it then tells me that I need to sharpen up the message and get it strongly across. There are two or three fundamental reasons. One, we need to prepare our population for a modern economy. When I say that, I don't mean handfuls of people or sections of the population. I mean the population of Ghana in its entirety. We need to be able to give opportunities for all our people to be educated in today's terms. Not as they were educated 50 years ago or 100 years ago, but as education means today in Ghana and in the rest of the world. So that's the fundamental that if we are going to run a modern economy, we can't do it with a population that has not access to modern knowledge and modern information. So that's fundamental. Number two, we are seeing hundreds of thousands of young Ghanaians dropping out of school, especially at the JHS level, every year. This year, I believe the figure is over 200,000. The year before, it was close to 200,000. The year before, 180,000. These are large figures. And if you congregate them, aggregate them, over 5 years, you're dealing with 500,000. It's 1 million young men and women who are thrown into the streets of Ghana on the basis of JHS education. What are they going to do with a JHS certificate in this our time? So the need, therefore, to make sure that people have access to a higher quality of education in the JHS is also there. That's why we want to make it that that we're going to redefine what constitutes basic education in our country. To say that it begins from kindergarten and ends at second senior high school level. I.e., it is compulsory. Everybody you go into the system, you stay in the system until the senior high school level. The issues of assessment are there, but that's the fundamental push of the plan. Fourthly, everywhere you go in this country, it must also be true in Brongahafo. In fact, I know it's true in Brongahafo. Many, many, many people capable, energetic, wanting higher education are not able to access it because they don't have the kaukudi, the money, the kaple, they don't have it. And therefore, that also produces for us another stream of people who are not in a position to realize their talents and are therefore not in a position to put those talents at the benefit of our societies and its growth. And if the economic obstacle is so widespread and everywhere you go, I was for 12 years a member of parliament for a rural constituency, Abuakwa. It became Abuakwa South and North, but originally it was Abuakwa, where I come from, JB and its environment. I mean, the numbers of people who were on my, I don't know how to put it, payroll or whatever, in terms of their school fees, it was astronomical. And it was not people wanting to scrounge on me, but they literally could not afford higher education. So we as a nation, we have to make a decision. At this stage in our history, does it make sense for us to have this huge wastage of human material? Does it make sense? Or do we make an effort, when we say we, especially those who are in charge of building our country at the center, government, make a decision that we, the government, the state, the Ghanaian state, will take on the burden of making sure that these young people have a future and have a life. So these are the decisions. These are the decisions that for me are absolutely urgent and decisions that we have to make now. They're not decisions that we're going to sit down and twiddle our thumbs about and argue up and down for another 5 or 6 years. They are decisions that are urgent and that require us to move on them today.
Thank you very much, Nana Akufo-Addo. We are very grateful for spending so much time. We asked you for 1 hour, but you spent more than 1 hour. This is an e-dialogue. The discussion continues online. www.ekufuado2012.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much also for the audience, and thank you.